Hi, welcome to Smart Home Sunday. My name's Paul and I'm tinkering again in Home Assistant. This time I'm going to do a follow-up video to last week's heater tinkering. This time you're trying to use Home Assistant to do some basic automations, to control some heaters in the house, set a low temp, high temp, when you're at home, when you're not at home, and have them all just automatically switch up and down depending on time and temperature, right? Save some electricity. That's the plan. Now, the reason I want to do a bit of a follow-up video to that is because it's not perfect yet, and also you've been giving me some great feedback and great comments, so thank you for those. So very quickly here, Jon, thanks, asking about my video style. I did give you an answer in last week's video. Check the comment. Great video suggestion as well. How do I make these videos? Switch between the screen. Me, the screen. Me, the screen. Maybe I'll do a video on that sometime, but the answer, it's in last week's comment section. Now, Juhani talking about a heat pump. Have we thought about putting heat pumps in our house instead of, having all these electric heaters? Now, that can be extremely expensive if you start putting multi-head units in, and they look ugly. There's a few other reasons as well. I put the note in the comment, but maybe I'll dig into it a little bit later on. On this channel, I'm doing a whole lot of renovation work, you might have noticed. Part of the plan is super insulation, so check out some of those videos, and that'll give you a little bit of a clue of what I hope to try and achieve so that we don't need the electric heating going through the roof, as it's definitely expected to do this winter with electricity prices. Now, on to the tinkering in Home Assistant. Glenn, Marcus, Daniel, thank you so much for the comments. Let me go through them quickly. So, Glenn, a couple of ideas there. Generic thermostat integration in Home Assistant. I actually had a look at that. The deal breaker here, though, is I need to set up one generic thermostat entity for every single switch. So, for example, in the lounge room, I've got 2 heaters, so 2 switches, so I would already need 2 generic thermostat entities to handle both of those heaters. So it doesn't seem like this is going to be a simple approach if I would use the generic thermostat. Then the other suggestion you had, which was there is a HA Smart Thermostat add-on, and I had a look at that. And I gotta tell you, I'm gonna need a few more cups of strong coffee before I dig into this one. It looks a little bit similar in the config to the generic thermostat. I might come back and look at this later on. Again, thank you very much for the comments. Then Marcus said that he would also use the generic thermostat integration, but then using a numerical helper for target temp. Now that caught my attention. I thought, what's going on there? So then I found out about the input numbers. Yes, little helpers you can create in Home Assistant. So here's what I'm going to do. Next week, I'm going to create a spot on a dashboard where you can set the temperature, the at-home temperature and the away temperature, and use them as helpers. So there'll be input numbers. And then in my automation, I will use those input numbers to manage whether the heaters turn on or off. This is brilliant. Thank you so much. Because I've been thinking, maybe I should just pump the temp up another degree, but I haven't bothered to go into my automations because there are 8 of them to handle. Have you seen them? Do you remember seeing them last week? Let me just go down and check it out. Automations, there they are. Look. Auto off, auto off, auto off, auto off, auto on, auto on. This is to handle 2 times a day and the on and off scenarios. Now, I do know that I can combine all these into one, and I'll do it. I'll show it to you next week. And I do know that I can put all the logic I want in here in one automation, and perhaps, as Daniel suggested, change based on temperature instead of time. So at the moment, my automations, they check every 5 minutes. All of them run, and they see, is there anything they need to do? I did think about switching based on the temperature sensor, and I'm going to do it. I'll make that change. Yeah, I'll do it. Okay, so thank you all for the comments. Love it. Change on temperature instead of time. Definitely going to do that. And this input number thing, that's just absolutely brilliant. I'm going to do that. Now, let's have a look at some of the data from last week. So if we look at the dining room temperature setting here, you can see, go into more. So, for example, in the last 24 hours, overnight, it dipped down in the morning, comes up again, and then in the night, back down again. So you can see this up and down zigzag of the last week, and there it is. It's a bit funny that this zigzag keeps to be going on some kind of trend. It's going upwards. I'm not sure why the house is slowly getting warmer. We've had a few warmer days outside. That's probably part of the reason. I'd like to think the house is somehow accumulating and storing heat in all the clay, but I don't think so. Wishful thinking. But this looks good. Next week, I'll show you the all-in-one automation triggered by the temperature sensor and using the input number. I know you want to see that. So hit subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll check it out next week together on another Smart Home Sunday. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the comments. I'm learning lots. Appreciate it. Bye.